Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives? Hello and welcome to another episode of So Are the Days of Our Lives? I'm your host, Olivia Willis, and today I have another dear friend who has agreed to come on the podcast and talk about a show they do not watch. Nathan Gutt is on the podcast. Nathan, welcome. How the hell are you?
Thank you, Olivia. I'm so good. I really appreciate you letting me join.
Oh my gosh.
Some episodes back, my wife got to join and was very jealous. And I don't know if I'd have had this opportunity were it not for her. So, thanks to her, thanks to you.
Shout out Emily Cole. We love that
right.
episode. I mean, I joke about this all the time that this is just a long con for me to convince all of my friends to start watching Days of Our Lives. And
That's great.
It's kind of working when you think about it, that you saw it or you listened to the podcast and you were like, hey, I need in on that.
I think Days of Our Lives is also really good at getting you in the habit of thinking about long cons.
This is actually the effect of me watching 6 years of Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
I'm now thinking in terms of long cons.
In terms of years, it's not just, this week getting ahead. It's like you can plot things for years.
No, this is going to play out for decades. To jump right in, what, if any, experience do you have watching Days of Our Lives or soap operas in general? And are you coming in completely blank?
Pretty blank. The only things I can recall is, as a kid, elementary school, staying home, you're sick, whatever. It's after morning stuff is done. It's midday. You turn on the TV. I don't know who these people are, and that was kind of it for me.
Yeah.
But I did know then I had a grandmother who watched soaps. Like it was important,
Yeah.
like that was a big part of her routine. I did check in with my parents to find out it was not Days of Our Lives.
Dang,
it was
that's okay.
one of the big competitors.
That's okay. You know
that
what?
was in the same time slot, which is why there was the problem.
Can you imagine, like, you used to literally have to pick, like, oh, I'll either watch that show or that show. And if I choose, I'm locked in. I can't go back.
Yeah. Yeah. These days, it's like Republican, Democrat. Those days, it was what show was in a time slot, and you couldn't be both. You couldn't be both.
Totally. Honestly, it's like, not to get too sincere right at the top of the episode, but when I first started watching Days of Our Lives, I was like on the phone with my dad and mentioned it offhand, like, oh, we're working on Days of Our Lives, and I'm like kind of obsessed with it. I've now started watching it on my own time. And the first thing my dad said was like, your grandmother loved Days of Our Lives.
Hey,
and I was like,
go.
Oh my God. My dad's mother died well before I was born. And so I like never knew her. And I'm just like, what sort of like cosmically in this is like connecting me to generations in my family. So
I mean, everything's about points of connection. I don't know. You go back to old places, you see old pictures, people in the same place, you just feel something.
Absolutely.
Same with the plot lines, the shows, the characters, the shared
100%.
experience. It's lovely.
Okay, so Days of Our Lives is very much my like comfort. I don't have to think, I can just turn this show on. And I'm like 300 episodes behind, so I know I'm not going to run out of episodes. Do you have like a comfort TV show that you turn to when you just like need to turn your brain off?
I do. So I don't end up consuming that much comfort TV, which is why I'm able to do this, which is Simpsons, and kind of it's mixed with nostalgia, but it's the kind of thing you can put on, maybe it sucks me in, maybe it's something that can just sort of get dropped because, I know what's going to happen, or I don't need to finish it out, or,
Ultimately, like nothing so plot heavy is going to happen where if you like walk away for a couple minutes, you're going to come back and be totally lost.
Yeah. And it has that, you rewatch something when you used to watch as a kid, you get new jokes. Maybe you didn't get the first time around. Just like literature. I always say Simpsons is just pretty much like literature.
Absolutely.
The other thing that I thought of about this question, I haven't watched it in forever, but what would be my comfort TV if I could find it is Andy Griffith Matlock.
Whoa.
That was a show that as a kid also I would watch, which is probably not what most 12-year-olds are watching, this like cranky old lawyer. But I was thinking about it, it's just something about old people solving mysteries and then being cranky about it, but like being right or being a little bit tricked at the end of the day to like I don't know, it was just love Matlock.
Totally. Oh my God, shout out Matlock. So Nathan, this episode I had you watch for the podcast, there's a lot going on. I mean, without going too much into the weeds beforehand, like what really jumped out at you as you were watching it or after you were watching it?
I mean, I went in knowing I wasn't going to know all the background.
Beautiful.
I don't know. It was sort of like interesting to see everyone in every scene just sort of taking it as it comes,
Yes.
like they're like, why are you asking me here to dinner? Why are you walking in the room? Why are you? And everyone's just like, oh, well, we're here. Let's talk.
Totally.
Let's go about our day and do whatever we're doing. And like, that was, I don't know, I think that was my takeaway, is just everyone just like, oh, this is the world. This is the social situation. I'm just going to roll with it.
It is funny because I do think that's like the root of what at least this soap is meant to be. There's an element of it that's like the mundanity of life. It just so happens that for these like psycho people, the mundanity of life is like moonlighting as a spy and like corporate espionage and like criminal enterprises and murder mysteries.
Yeah.
Like, but it is a lot of just like, so what did you get up to today? What are you dealing with in your life? And they're like, well, this stuff, which is crazy. These are the days of our lives.
Our lives. Absolutely. And then, yeah, what's normal for different people, it varies.
100%.
Some people, it's more attempted murdery than other people.
And that's important that we leave space for that in people's lived experience.
It's just what happens.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks. Okay. So if you don't have anything else, we'll just dive into the recap.
The only thing I was going to say is, the name of the town, Salem, right?
Yes.
I was like, obviously that's not a town there is a town in Illinois, but it's not near Chicago.
Yeah.
I wanted to look it up.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
there
why?
is a Salem, Illinois, but it's not like near Chicago.
That's
And I was like, is there something behind the name, that they chose it? And I don't know, do you know what Salem means? Like that?
No.
It means peace. And it's tied to like shalom.
Really?
It's the same thing. And so Jerusalem means foundation of peace. So it's about like, something peace. So Salem is peace, which I thought was really funny because
Ironic.
it's very ironic because this town seems rarely to have peace.
Yes.
I mean, also true of Jerusalem. So like maybe the
Also,
whole thing is don't
yeah.
name your town peace.
Yeah,
Might
or
not work
only
out.
do it if you intend to be ironic. Because I was going to say,
Yes.
also the other famous U.S. Salem, not really associated with peacefulness.
Yep. Who knows?
Well, thank you for
that was
doing
my
that
only. I was
etymology.
just curious. I had to find out. I was curious.
Well, on that note, let's dive into the recap. This episode is season 60, episode 216, which aired Monday, June 23rd, 2025. So this episode opens with Gabi Hernandez and Chad DiMera at dinner at the bistro. These are not two characters I expected to see in a scene together at the beginning of the episode. So I started confused. And then, speaking of just a character taking things as they come, Chad feels as confused as I was that he's there at dinner. He's just like, why did you ask me to dinner? Chad runs the newspaper, the Salem Spectator, and he thinks Gabi is like fishing for some free ad space for her clothing line, Gabi Chic. And I love that too, that he's like, this is sinister because you want ad space. But no, Gabi has brought him here to talk about his birthright. I thought that was an incredible button for such a short scene. Just like, why are you bringing me here? To talk about your birthright.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm hooked.
Okay. I'm not like a big etiquette, like need to know everything.
Yes.
His napkin and silverware on the right, and his drink on the left. She's the opposite, right? So her placement was right, his was wrong. And immediately though, I was like, where do I see something like this? And I'm also not a chess player, but it's like chess. And I was like, oh, I want to read into this so much.
Strategery on the
They're
dinner
like-
table.
They're immediately staging a game together. And like you line the king across from the king, the queen against, it's not like your king's always on the right or the left. It's lined up with your opponent.
Nathan, I like the way your mind is working while you watch this show.
I was like, something's wrong. Why would they be like both on the same side? That doesn't look normal. And then I was like,
That's so
it's part
funny.
of the game.
I mean, unless they're literally like it represents chess, I very much wonder
I would
why.
love that.
They, but in our mind, it's because they're representing a game. They're subconsciously representing a game of chess.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Lined up.
Okay, so then we go to the DiMera mansion, which is where Chad's older brother EJ lives, who's the like tall salt and pepper hair British guy. Everything, is just like very fancy luxe liquor decanters, glassware. They have a big chess table in the DiMera mansion as well. So could be something. EJ gets what I found to be the most disturbing text message I've ever seen from his girlfriend, Belle. She texts him, "I hope you enjoyed our afternoon delight as much as I did." And I was just like, immediately, no, shut it down. I don't like it when they do this. I also died because her message, like the graphic, her message is blue, but then when he texts her back, it is yellow. And I was like, what the fuck operating system?
The other thing, and I know that this is just editors doing him dirty, but like the amount of time it takes him to read that one sentence, like
it's like he's looking at his phone and it's like 15 seconds of silence and then he starts giggling.
Chuckles. Yeah. It's like, oh man, this is not 8th grade level.
Yeah,
this
tough.
Is something subpar.
So then EJ replies, he texts Belle back, it's yellow. He says, "I haven't been able to stop thinking about it all day," and I died. Then this older woman in glasses who's wearing so many clashing prints, obsessed with her.
I loved it.
She strides in and she goes, "Someone looks like the cat who ate the canary." And I was like, I'm immediately obsessed with everything you're bringing to this episode.
Yes.
So this is Rita. This is my first time talking about her on the podcast, but she pops in every now and then. She is like the DiMera family fixer, and she really is like at EJ's beck and call to like do his logistical dirty work. But I will talk about it a lot throughout this episode. This episode is like so classical theater, and like she is really bringing that vibe to it. Just the way she talks. "Someone looks like the cat who ate the canary," and I'm just like, I'm obsessed with this.
No spoilers for the rest of the episode. I wish she was in it more. Like when I saw her walk in so early in the episode, I was like, yes, this is going to be so good. Because like the one I watched, because I sat with Emily to watch.
Oh, yeah.
These same characters came back and back and back and back. Right. And that was true of like everyone else in this episode. But
we lose Rita pretty quickly.
Lovely time and then had to bid farewell. Yeah.
Gone too soon, Rita.
Yeah.
So she comes in. EJ like immediately complains about how long it took for her to get there. And she's talking about how she had to schlep to the hinterlands to retrieve this thing he asked her to get from its hiding place. And then she hands EJ this little plastic baggie. And Rita tells EJ she takes no responsibility for the damage it may cause. So dramatic.
So good.
EJ insists it's just an insurance policy, and he takes it. And then EJ's shockingly tan older brother, Tony DiMera, comes in and he exchanges pleasantries with Rita for a bit. And then he starts like suddenly whispering about how EJ thinks he can hide this whatever's in his hand from him. And EJ immediately starts looking guilty. Tony and Rita together, this is Shakespeare. Like I'm just obsessed with them together.
Yeah. By the way, the way he enters the room and just fully walks in front of the conversation that's happening and turns his back on his brother.
Yes.
It's very much like, I'm like, this to me seems like what you do if you're a frat boy in a club.
Yeah.
Like,
I come and I literally physically put myself in between the person I want to ignore and the person I want to talk to.
The room is gigantic. There's so much room to not be in the one line of sight between these people and just close them off. I was like,
absolutely.
Damn.
So we're going to leave the DiMera world for a little bit and we're going to cut to family game night.
Oh my God. I have so much to say. Go ahead.
We've got Jack and Jennifer. They are married, older, like middle-aged older couple. Their adult son, JJ, and Thomas, their grandson, the young son of their tragically murdered daughter, Abigail. Fun fact, not to come right off of that tragic murder, so sorry, but did you see the movie Weapons?
No, I
Oh,
have not.
dang. Okay. Well, the kid who plays Thomas is a very big part in the movie
Oh, no
Weapons. And I'm
way.
like
Okay.
so parasocially proud of this child actor. Like, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is an extremely common thing. Child actors are on soaps all the time and then go on to have great careers. And I'm just like, look at him
Watch,
go. It's
watch him, right?
Thomas.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm making notes of like how I'm tracking people as we go, and
Yes, yes.
immediately doubting Thomas. Like I didn't know his full name because like every other line he had was like, "Why are
Yes.
you here? I
He's
don't
like,
believe you." Like, no, really, why are you here? And then like every other line of his was him just being like, "I don't
that
know."
doesn't seem real to me. Oh my God, doubting Thomas. That's
And
so
then he's
funny.
like, I'm just gonna go get some cookies. I don't believe any of this. Okay.
He's wise beyond his years and is like, I'm going to solve this with cookies.
Yes. So I do have to say a few things about Monopoly.
Please.
So this, like immediately, okay, cut to board. This is how the scene starts, to the board. It's not even the
Yes.
family yet,
No.
right? We see house on Park Place, hotel on Boardwalk. He's marching toward Boardwalk. He lands on it. Okay. First of all, you are supposed to in Monopoly build up evenly, right? You put one house on one. You can't put two houses on one before you put a house on another. So first of all, they're not following rules. That's fine. House rules, right? People play. There's like house rules. Monopoly's famous for house rules. That's fine. We pull up to the people playing. We see what's her grandma
Jennifer.
Pink, Jennifer wearing pink. She was Grandma
Yes.
Pink for me for a while.
No, the artist
Um,
Pink.
the artist Pink, Grandma Pink. So she's holding her three property cards like a poker hand, right? Like you
Yes.
do in Monopoly, I guess. One of them is a yellow property, Marvin Gardens, right? And I remember it, so I go back to the board. There's a hotel on one of the yellows, but not Marvin Gardens. So, okay, rule 2, you're supposed to have the whole color group before you can build on it. She only has one yellow, someone else is building up. Okay, maybe house rules. That's fine, right? Sure. This is already getting a little weird. And then we cut to sorry, this
No,
is
this
all
is the
happens in
best
like
thing I've ever
this all
heard.
happens in like 15 seconds.
Yeah,
But it's like if
absolutely.
you watch it. Okay. And then it goes to Grandpa, whose name is
Jack.
Jack. Jack says, that spot would belong to me. He holds up a card, right? We all saw him land on Boardwalk. It's red. The card he holds up is red. This is not like, as anyone in that room from the United States?
No.
Like, no one has ever played Monopoly in that entire room, film crew, acting crew, like everyone.
And it's like you picked, I don't know, a game with like so many iconic, distinguishing parts that
Right.
like you, a viewer, we were not a huge Monopoly family, so I don't
Sure.
like know it from seeing it. It's just like
Yeah.
a wash of Monopoly
Right.
to me. But like people who grew up playing Monopoly, you're like, that's not how Monopoly works.
Well, it's
You
like
could have
the-
picked so many easier games to play.
And it's like blue and red, like even that, just pick a blue one and hold it up and say you, and then the last thing in this scene, he pays him, right? He pays him for landing on the property. Hands him 3 500s and a 50. So that's 1,550. That's not what you pay when you land on Boardwalk with the hotel. So they're just like, here's money, a pile of money.
Folks,
And-
everyone at Days of Our Lives, listen, the next time you have to do maybe a paid spot for Hasbro where you feature Monopoly in the episode, please hire Nathan Gutt to be your Monopoly consultant. He
Yeah.
will choreograph your Monopoly game for you. He will
Yes.
make you actually look like you're playing a legitimate game of Monopoly.
They can pay me in Monopoly money. It's
But
fine.
come on.
That's my rate. That's my rate.
You're like, I'm doing this for out of the goodness of my heart and for the love of the game.
That's right. That's right. But at that point, I was like, I don't know if they're just messing with me,
They're
Or
just trolling
with everyone.
people.
They're just trolling
No.
someone like me who's like, no, that's not Boardwalk. That's not what you pay for Boardwalk. This is all just a different world.
Unfortunately, I'm 100% confident the answer was just they didn't have time to think
Just
about it.
hold up a card. They
They
probably
were just like, grab one.
My guess was they lost Boardwalk, or it was used in another thing, and they're like,
Yes.
just hold up a card. Let's
Yeah,
do
just
the next scene.
Anything.
Hold up a card.
We're moving on. Well, I'm obsessed with the journey you just took us on about the Monopoly in continuity in the show. I feel like I missed so much. I was focused on the stuff they were saying, and you were like, no, there are lies
It's
being
15
played on this
seconds of-
board.
Yeah, I'm like parallel universe. I don't know what I'm seeing here.
I don't know what Salem version of Monopoly this
Salem
is,
Monopoly,
but
yeah.
maybe. Oh my God. Okay, so to what the non-Monopoly related action in the game or in the scene was, I love that they do this thing where like they really take their time to explain why Thomas's sister Charlotte isn't present with them. Like Thomas and Charlotte are like always a little unit, but for some reason they're like, well, Charlotte's at a spa day with Julie. And I'm like, Charlotte's 4. What's she doing at a spa day? Like, what's going on? Anyway, but they're explaining they'll be back later. Jack, like, weirdly, sinisterly talks about how Charlotte's going to regret it if she misses their next family game night. And I'm like, okay, you like went a little hard on the joke there and it got scary. It got spooky. He's like, she'll regret it. And I was like, ooh, not fun.
No.
Then Thomas gets really sad because like their next family game night won't be for a while. Jack and Jennifer have to head back to Boston and they assure Thomas that they're going to be spending a lot more time in Salem. And this is where he immediately taps into doubting Thomas. He's suspicious and he's like, why would you spend more time in Salem?
He's from Salem. He's like, I know suspicious stuff is happening everywhere. What is this?
Exactly. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Jack and Jennifer insist it's, you know, they miss their family. And so they're going to spend more time in Salem. I feel like not a crazy excuse.
No, it's legit.
Yeah. But he is not buying it. He sulks off to get his chocolate chip cookie. And their adult son, JJ, admits he's also curious why his parents want to spend more time in Salem. And I guess they just know Jack and Jennifer very well. Because I'm like, why are we questioning this? But it turns out they do have nefarious motives. Jack reveals that Jennifer wants to keep an eye on Cat Green. And the music hits a very dramatic sting. Then we cut to Cat Green in the town square. Kat's on the phone with her little sister deciding what they'll have for dinner when a pair of shiny black shoes steps up behind her and then hesitates. And I was like, it's perfect foot acting. It's absolutely just close up on the shoes, but you see that they're keeping their distance. Meanwhile, Kat senses danger and whips around to check her surroundings, but there's no one there. And she's rattled, but she assures her sister all is well. She's going to get them burgers from the bistro, which I think is ridiculous to get burgers from the bistro. The bistro is the restaurant that Chad and Gabi are at.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, there's like a famous pub in town. And I'm like, why wouldn't you get burgers from the pub? Like,
that's what they would do best.
That makes way more sense to me, but never mind.
And put a pin in her objective for the evening, right? Which is to pick up dinner.
She never, spoiler alert, she never fucking gets those burgers and her sister goes hungry that night.
She's wandering around for who knows how long and never even seems to like get the objective in line of like, how do I get dinner?
She loops back to the town square in the last scene and still isn't like going.
There's no food. There's no like talking to anyone about dinner. She's just walking around.
Poor Felicity is stuck at home starving.
Well, she's probably delirious too. Kat's just like, I haven't eaten. I forgot what I'm here for.
Totally. She got sidetracked and didn't realize she was hunger mad.
Yep.
So yeah, Kat feels like she's being followed but doesn't see anyone, so she heads off suspiciously, leading us to the sweeping opening sequence. Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
So good.
Hits every time. Okay, back at the bistro, Gabi explains to Chad, this is where we get into a lot of the meat of the corporate drama. So the background for this is that there used to be like 2 big companies in Salem, Titan and DiMera. And the DiMeras ran DiMera and the Kyriakis family ran Titan. Titan recently acquired DiMera in this like crazy corporate buyout situation.
Hostile takeover.
Hostile takeover. That's the word I was looking for. Crazy corporate buyout is what came out of my mouth, but hostile takeover is what I was thinking.
I think I would like the sound effects for a cartoon version of Crazy Corporate Buyout more. Yeah, it sounds like what you'd do if you had a mattress company.
Yeah. So Gabi works, like her company is under DiMera and has been therefore acquired by Titan in said hostile takeover. So Gabi explains to Chad that the Kyriakis brothers are running his family's business to the ground. It's time one of Stefano's children reclaims it, and Chad is the perfect DiMera for the job. Again, extremely Shakespearean here.
Yeah.
But Chad doesn't want anything to do with DiMera Enterprises. He's talking about it's been a corrupt front for illegal activity for years.
This guy's virtuous over here.
Yeah, come on. I'm a newspaper man now.
Yeah.
I got kids who know all the rules to their own version of Monopoly at home. So yeah, Gabi thinks Chad would just, clean it up and make Stefano proud. Stefano is their deceased father of the DiMera clan. And Chad is like, all the illegal stuff is the thing my father liked about the company. Like, no, cleaning it up wouldn't make my father proud. It would actually be the opposite.
Right. Yeah, let's rehab the Nazi party. There's we can
make him proud.
We can turn it around and just change the whole attitude, but keep the name.
This is your family's legacy.
Oh, too far.
Speaking of, scheming DiMeras, it continues to be classical theater at the DiMera mansion as Tony confronts EJ. I was obsessed. I don't know if you noticed this. Tony has his hand tucked in his suit jacket.
Napoleon.
Yes. And then I was obsessed with this gesture. I was trying to think of exactly what it reminded me of. And then Jacoby and I were walking through Central Park and I saw this statue of Daniel Webster doing exactly the gesture.
No, that's it. That's it.
And I stopped in my tracks and was like, that's the way Tony was standing in the episode I'm going to talk to Nathan about. Days of Our Lives is everywhere if you just know how to look for it.
Yeah. The inspiration comes in from all sources, all centuries.
Absolutely. So, yeah, Rita's talking again with her Rita way. Rita tells EJ it would be wise to seek counsel from someone you trust, kind of implying that EJ should open up to Tony about what he's dealing with. Then Rita decides it's time for her to leave, and we get an extremely long shot of her leaving the room. It's like 8 uninterrupted seconds of silence where it switches angles and just shows her walking out.
Well, we had to get another look at the outfit because it was so good.
They said, wait, she has more hidden patterns. We need a 360 of this look. Now that they're alone, Tony assures EJ if he's in trouble, EJ can confide in him. And EJ reluctantly holds out the dime baggie with a memory card in it, which famously not what dime baggies are used for, but I guess we'll make do.
In case you have to hide that memory card somewhere. You never know.
Exactly. And EJ reveals he's not the one in trouble. It's his son, Johnny. Dun dun. Back at the bistro, this is the moment where I realized Chad and Gabi's wine glasses absolutely look like they're full of apple cider. Like the color is so wrong for any kind of wine, unless it was maybe an orange wine, but I feel like that's maybe giving them a little bit too much credit in terms of taste and budget.
Yeah. But what was it? Was it like some sort of a...
It must have been apple juice, or it may have been like apple cider, but yeah, it was just like golden in a way white wine is not.
That's right. Hey, if you're at a nice restaurant and you ask for apple juice in a wine glass,
they'll give it to you. They'll give it to you.
By the way, in that scene is when I realized the servers in that bistro are constantly mulling about. They're everywhere in the back. Like every other scene, there's a server talking to someone.
Yes, okay. We're going to get to one particularly great moment in a couple minutes, which I'm sure we both clocked. Okay. But I think about this is there an assistant director who exclusively does background actor choreography? Because yes, they're always moving. They're very apart. There's a lot of choreography happening, and I have to believe it's not random.
Hand out menus, just constantly be bothering everyone at every other table.
Yes, obviously, but not this one.
Yes.
Because that would mean we would have to pay them for the walking and talking we're doing.
Audible talking is out the window.
Is out.
No.
So Gabi is, going off about how, you don't have to turn DiMera Enterprises into the Gates Foundation. Just find a way to turn a profit without laundering money to criminals. It's that simple. Chad wants to know why Gabi doesn't just take her company, Gabi Chic, and leave DiMera if she hates working with the new bosses, Xander and Philip, so much. And this is where she reveals we get into contract law. She has an ironclad exclusivity contract that was acquired by Titan in the merger. And so, DiMera is tanking, and if it implodes, she'll lose everything. And so will Chad. And then she's like, Chad, your children will lose their legacy. And it's like, they already are not involved in this at all. He's like,
Right.
I don't want my kids to be involved in DiMera Enterprises.
Right.
Anyway, she's really laying it on thick. At the end, she's like begging him to step up to the plate so they can both keep providing for their families.
Yeah,
And
it's like,
Chad's just like not buying it.
it's like, are they not all right? They look like they're all right. What's their situation?
They're both abjectly wealthy.
Yeah,
like,
even a hostile takeover, you just get more than you ever need if you're
Yeah,
taking over. That's
yeah.
the whole thing.
We're good. Yeah, no one's like, even Chad, like running the newspaper. He's not like, and now I'm making my children live in destitution.
Yeah, right.
Thomas has chocolate chip cookies out the wazoo.
I know. Yeah, and like me, I got 0 newspapers.
Yeah.
And like I'm still doing okay. 0 newspapers. He's got 1. It's already better.
He's nailing it. Okay, so this is one of my favorite interactions with EJ and Tony. We go back to the DiMera mansion. Tony takes the memory card and he goes, "What's this?" And EJ goes, "It's a memory stick." And Tony goes, well, I see that, but what's it got to do with Johnny? Where's it from? And I'm like, okay, first of all, the question you asked was, what is this? So like, don't cop an attitude because EJ answered the question you asked.
Ask a better question if you want a better answer.
Thank you. And
There you
I'm not
go.
here to cape for EJ DiMera, but like, so EJ explains it's a memory stick from a camera that was set up in this very room the night EJ was shot. So this has been like a whole overarching storyline. EJ got shot one night, but he can't remember who shot him. And there were so many people in town threatening to kill him that night
Nice.
that
Nice.
there's no way of knowing who killed him or who tried to kill him.
Right.
And yeah, I just love Tony at the end of the scene. Tony's just like, wait. We need to start from the beginning. I love a scene that ends with, take me back to the beginning.
And then they cut to the next
And then they
scene.
cut, like next time we see them,
Yeah.
the story has been told.
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't get to see it.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so back at the bistro, this is, I mean, I think, perfect waiter, background actor moment where we like follow one of the waiters from the bar across the restaurant and it's like panning with him so
Yeah.
much so that I don't know if you felt this way, but I absolutely was like, the show is about this waiter now. Like we are about to follow him on his shift and he's a main cast member now.
Right. There's going to be a whole spin-off.
Literally.
The bistro waiters of Salem.
Yes, which I would absolutely lock the fuck into.
Yeah, they hear a lot of stuff.
Oh my God, please. And you would know who's a good tipper, who's not. I mean, you can tell a lot. But no, it's a false alarm. He's not actually the subject of the episode now. It was just like visual breadcrumbs leading us to this like vestibule where Chad's on the phone arguing with one of his reporters about sources.
That's right.
When he goes back to the table, he's, oh, that was Leo, my reporter, blah, blah, blah. She adds a derogatory quip about how Leo's lady gossip monger because
I love that.
yeah. Well, Leo used to be a gossip columnist and his nom de plume, so to say, was lady whistleblower,
Okay.
which is doing a lot.
So when I saw Lady Gossip Monger, I was taking notes on my phone, right? So it has that like autocomplete. I typed in gossip M and Monger finished.
No
Like,
way.
I was like, that's a thing. That's a word. That's not
Apple
something
is
that
like,
they
we
just...
know exactly what you mean.
Oh, gossip monger. That's it. So I'm like, I feel good. I learned a new vocab word. It's in the bank.
And we will start dropping it in daily conversation.
Yeah. Gossip monger.
Gossip monger. Everyone, tag us in every time you use gossip monger this week. I also love Chad comes back to the table and then Gabby's like, why are you walking so weird? You're walking like my abuelita when her gout flares up. But like,
That's so specific.
it's so specific. But also I went back and watched it so many times. We do not see, like Chad is never walking in frame. Like we see him sit back down at the table and like the camera's never on him walking. So we don't see him limping at all. So
But maybe
when
he did.
Yeah, but I was-
But we don't know.
when she asked that, I was like,
Yeah.
did he walk weird? And I literally rewound it and was like, I can't see him. What's
funny.
the point? We were too
funny.
focused on that waiter. that I didn't see Chad. So yeah, apparently Chad was limping and he explains, oh, it was just a skydiving mishap. Ha ha
Oh,
ha.
yeah.
A classic skydiving injury. And, you know, he's explaining he went on this like skydiving date with Kat Green. And Gabi is shocked that Chad would bid on Kat after what she did to Chad's family. And, you know, Chad's just like, we're just friends. EJ actually bid on Kat, but I saved her from EJ. I'm just like, this is all so nuts. So
Yeah, there's a lot of
basically,
layers.
yeah, basically what happened was Chad's wife, Abigail, who was Jack and Jennifer's daughter, was tragically murdered, leaving him a widower. Years later, Kat Green came to Salem and is like, I'm Abigail. I had facial reconstructive surgery and also I have amnesia. So I don't look like myself and I don't remember anything.
I don't think like myself.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
look like myself.
I'm not me,
What's
but
left?
I am me.
Yeah, yeah.
And Chad believed her, and it was actually a ruse by this big villain who like he basically like had Kat's mom hostage and was like, I'm going to kill your mom unless you pose as Abigail DiMera. And so she did it against her own will. And eventually it all came out and she was super apologetic. So basically she's like, I felt bad the entire time I was pretending to be Abigail. And Chad like believes her and forgives her, but no one else in Abigail's family is willing to entertain the fact that she deserves like sympathy or anything.
I mean,
know,
that's
it's
high
crazy.
pressure acting. Like,
It
you think
is.
about high pressure, like someone's threatening the life of your, what was it, their mother?
Your mother.
Yeah. I mean, that's
know.
like, you better do good at this gig.
Literally, yeah. The goal was like she was going to get Chad to like marry her, like remarry Abigail, so that then she would have access to all his money and they were going to like rob him.
Wow.
But I can't remember how it all came out, but they never ended up like the marriage didn't happen and all this stuff. It all
Mom's okay.
Mom's okay. Mom is okay.
Oh, good.
And the big bad guy got arrested and yeah, now she can just live her life. And sometimes the system works. So that is what happened with Kat and Chad.
Okay.
That's why Jennifer doesn't like Kat.
Yes.
Back at the DiMera mansion, EJ is explaining to Tony that he doesn't remember much from the night of the shooting, but he does remember finding the camera. He has no idea who could have gotten in the house to plant it undetected. And Tony wants to know what this has to do with Johnny. And EJ just cryptically answers, everything. The way he says it is like so... everything. And it's like, no, literally, I can just imagine Tony's frustration. He's like, okay, so you got me with the what is this? It's a memory stick thing. You got me there. That was on me. But this, I didn't fuck this one up.
No, this one I did well.
Yeah.
You did poorly.
EJ kind of fumbles out this line as he asks Tony, like, not to let this conversation go further. I just love when they like almost get the right wording of a sentence. And it's, you go off vibes. It's like, I know what you meant. That's fine.
Yeah.
He explains that he was able to play the video from the memory card and it showed his son Johnny coming in to lace him. Again, a vocab word I wouldn't have known besides this show, or a new definition of the word lace, I should say, the verb to lace. So Johnny came in, he was blaming EJ for everything terrible in his life, and Tony just thinks it's a classic father-son quarrel. But then EJ reveals Johnny had a gun, so it seems EJ's own son tried to shoot him.
Yeah, Johnny's got a gun.
Johnny's got a gun. Okay, back at Monopoly night.
Oh, so much.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, but
There's
this
one more,
is...
but
Thomas delivers an iconic like Hasbro commercial take of, yes, you landed on my property, Grandma.
I love that. I love that. I love that. So,
and again, I'm like, he's a star.
And
I'm
that's
obsessed
what
with him.
kids do. That's what kids do. They're so obnoxious when they win, and it's okay.
And we love it.
It's okay. It's okay. But this is the last thing I have to say about this.
Go.
We opened with her saying, landed on the property, whatever.
Yep.
Cut to the board. The dice have not moved. The dice are exactly where they were in the last shot. Pieces have moved. They finished a plate of cookies, right? The whole plate of cookies is
So there's
gone.
other continuity happening.
They're eating the cookies. They're not rolling the dice.
OMG.
What is this game? They just what? Yeah.
This is chaos. Yeah, you can't even give them house rules on this.
No. They're not rolling dice. They're not dealing with the properties that they actually have in their hand. But Thomas won.
But hey, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love they have this moment. I mean, maybe this is a house rules moment where Jennifer's out of money, so Thomas offers to let her trade instead of pay him.
Yeah.
But the trade is he wants to know the real reason they're going to spend more time in Salem. Again, he is not believing this I miss my family shit.
No.
He's not giving you an inch.
Mm-mm.
And then he just, oh my God, I died. He goes, is something wrong? Is someone sick?
Damn.
And I was just like, this child has been through too much, clearly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. All this doubt and then all this like, well, it must be because of something awful.
This child needs to be in therapy for anxiety
rescue
tonight.
him ASAP.
Yes. And Jack assures Thomas everyone is fine. They just want to spend more time with Julie, who's I think their like great aunt. She's definitely like a big figure in their family, but I can't remember exactly how they're related. But, you know, she's been really sad ever since her husband Doug passed away, which at this point I think would have been like about a year ago. And then Thomas goes, yeah, I sometimes hear her crying when she doesn't know I'm there.
Oh, God, I blocked that out of my memory because that was so sad.
The grief in this house is so palpable. I can't. This kid, he just, oh my God, he just wants somebody get him some more cookies.
At least he got to win the game.
At least he gets to win the game. Whatever faux Monopoly thing. Yeah, regardless, Thomas is finally satisfied with this answer. You know, JJ is like, let's get more snacks. Dad, can you help me? It's very like, I need to speak with you outside right now.
So good.
And then they go out into the whatever hall and Jack's like, what was I supposed to say? Your grandmother doesn't trust Daddy's friend? And I laughed out loud and was like, this could be the potential title event for this podcast. Your grandmother doesn't trust Daddy's friend.
That's good.
I love it. JJ doesn't understand why Jennifer's hung up on the cat thing. And it's because they literally just went on this big skydiving date. And even though it was for charity and one time only, Jack gets the sense that Kat and Chad are going to keep spending time together. And I want to be like, just say they have out of this world chemistry and you can like feel the palpable tension every time they're in a room together. Right. Stop doing and also it's weird that you can pick up on that because you are his father-in-law.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of intuition going on.
It is. Back with Gabi and Chad, they've been talking about the whatever auction charity skydiving date. And Gabi's jealous that Chad got a good story out of his date because, you know, she just had a boring dinner. And then she's like, but boring and Cat Green don't exactly go hand in hand. And I'm like, okay, burn, I guess. I don't know.
Of yourself?
Exactly. I don't know. Like, yeah. Gabi admits she admires how Kat's been, you know, making amends and trying to start fresh in Salem. And she's glad that Kat didn't get caught in EJ's web. She dodged one hell of a bullet. So Gabi and EJ are like mortal enemies who obviously had a torrid affair and like it happens.
Right.
Look, it happens.
Yeah. Needs some time to get past that.
For sure. For sure. Finally, we're back with Kat. I like had kind of forgotten she was in this episode. She's been gone for so long, wandering the streets at night, not getting dinner.
She ate it all on the way. I don't know.
Yeah. And like her sister doesn't get to eat.
No.
Now Kat's suspiciously walking through a park, like still scanning her surroundings, when who should sneak up behind her but Shane Donovan, Silver Fox. He was a very famous character back in like the 80s, but I know him as Charles Shaughnessy, the actor, aka Mr. Sheffield from The Nanny. That was a huge show for me in my childhood. And I forgot that he was fully on Days of Our Lives. And now he like pops in every now and then to be Shane Donovan. director of the International Security Alliance.
Okay, I could tell there was gravitas. I didn't know. He just popped in,
Yes.
but I could tell. They wanted me to know there's some gravitas.
It was gray hair and suit and cover of darkness and shiny black shoes.
Shiny shoes shuffle, yes.
Yes. So he runs the ISA, which is Days of Our Lives' version. It's like combo CIA, Interpol, multinational spy agency.
I do have a critique of his conversation starter, which
Please.
is when you creep up on a woman at night who's walking alone, I don't know if you're supposed to say you could have been in serious danger.
He's like, good thing I'm a friendly face. You
Like,
could have been in trouble.
I mean, as a woman, is that thumbs up?
No, it's not.
Men in the
Also,
night coming up? Yeah, no.
Also, she was very aware of the fact that she was being followed. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what she could have done better. But this is a moment where, yeah, he does that weird dig about how she could have been attacked.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks for the reminder. And then he's like, what? No hello for your former boss? And this is a reveal, like full-blown reveal. This is the first time anyone is finding out that Kat used to work for the ISA and
gravitas
Shane Donovan.
and big reveal. Damn.
Exactly. And it was funny. Yeah. Like I said, there are a lot of things that come up on this show where I'm just like, is that actually new information? Or was I just like not listening to the scene where that was explained the first time? And now it's being fed to me like I should have known it. But I did some digging, and this was like when it aired in the summer of 2025, this was a big reveal, new information. Yeah. Yeah. Exciting stuff is happening this episode.
Yeah, good episode.
So we come back from a commercial break. Gabi is grilling Chad about why he's actually spending all this time with Kat. You know, it can't just be the fundraiser and saving her from EJ. And Chad admits he's gotten to know more about Kat Green over the last few months. And the more he knows, the more he likes her. And I just love when they do stuff like this, where it's like an extremely innocuous, like they objectively did not need this scene in the episode, but he is saying this like dramatically ironic thing of like, I'm getting to know Kat and I like her the more I get to know her. And then we cut to a scene about Kat where we are all learning like a huge new piece of information that proves that Chad actually has no idea who she is. And I'm just like, it's the chess. It's the napkins and the forks. It's the chess.
This is when the writing shines.
This is when it shines. Yeah. Every time I'm like, cut this scene, I'm like, no, it has merit.
No.
So we go back to the park. Shane now is like, I didn't mean to startle you. And Kat is like, absolutely not. That was a test. And he's like, yeah, I like to keep my employees on their toes. And I'm like, by creepily following them around town at night? What is this like ongoing training you have for your spies?
Yeah, and being like the leader of the whole thing, you got the time, you know? I don't know. Is it based in Salem? Did he fly in for this?
No, sure isn't. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, they're so involved in things in Salem, they must have some sort of like outpost or something in the area. Maybe there's a Chicago office.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Maybe.
you got to have a place to store your stuff.
So Kat cuts in and she's like, former employee. And I was never a field agent. I was just an analyst. And then Shane goes, so you have been avoiding my calls.
What?
A plus B does not equal C.
Non sequitur?
Yeah, it's, I just love it. So you have been avoiding my calls. Absolutely not. I can't even begin to guess what improvising they were doing in this scene. Yeah, that's all we can hope for.
Maybe there was a line that got fully cut because like the film got corrupted, the memory card got in the baggie and they couldn't find it.
That was they saved the wrong clip to the memory card and put it in the baggie. But Kat is just like, yeah, you may want me back at the agency, but I have no interest. And then Shane mysteriously drops that Kat doesn't exactly have a choice in the matter. Again, dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so now he is kind of threatening her.
Yes, I throw up my hands in surrender to this entire storyline. It does not. It's new. It's uncharted territory.
Things are happening.
It doesn't make sense that he keeps just being like, you have no choice but to work for us.
Yeah.
But then he actually he's not blackmailing her. Like we're going to get into it. She doesn't really need to be on this case.
Okay.
He just wants her back.
Sure.
And she's like, you forced my hand. And I'm like, no, he hasn't.
Yeah.
Make him work for it.
Right. Yeah. Negotiate your salary, at least something, if he wants it that bad. Yeah.
Back at the DiMera house, EJ and Tony continue to be extremely British about the situation they're dealing with. Tony's insisting that Johnny was just cross with EJ. He wouldn't want to kill him. And then EJ explains that things have changed in the interim while Tony's been gone. I'm just like, stop saying words the most British you could possibly say them. We get it. So EJ, he's talking about all the bad things that he did do to Johnny that would make Johnny so upset with him. And EJ explains, Johnny and his wife lost the chance to adopt a baby because of EJ, like because of EJ's reputation. The biological family didn't want to adopt to them. Yeah. Then Tony's like, well, that doesn't justify him wanting to shoot you. And then EJ admits that Johnny learned EJ, trigger warning, raped Johnny's mother, and that is how Johnny was conceived. Yeah. And they're like, oh, that makes sense why Johnny would probably want to kill you.
That's a big drop. Was this something that was from that many years ago?
Yes.
That was actually in the... Man.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
And the whole thing was like, Sammy is Johnny's mother and EJ's ex. Sammy was with this man, Lucas, and there was some sort of accident or fire or something. And she needed help and she ran for help. And EJ was the only person she could find. And she needed him to come back and help her. And he was like, I'll help you on one condition. I'm going to have sex with you. Bad.
Thumbs down.
She gets pregnant from that rape. And she had also been pregnant by Lucas, her boyfriend at the time, or I don't think they were married. I can't remember. But so she had simultaneous twin pregnancies, but not from the same father.
Yeah. That's a thing.
It's so crazy.
And it's like fraternal twins. It's two eggs.
Yep.
It's the magic of the butterflies and the bees and the everything, and it all works. And I don't know how. And
hopefully, it, usually in better circumstances than this, but this is how it worked for Sammy. But then, years later, Sammy went on to fall in love with EJ, and they got married. They were married for a very long time. So it's this every time it comes up, it's like, yeah, it's this really bad thing, but we have a complicated past, and I'm just like, no, bad. So yeah, that is the context for why Johnny would have the motive to shoot his father.
Sure, bad thing to learn.
Back at the bistro, Gabi wants to know if Chad likes Kat. I'm just like, ma'am, you're an adult woman.
No,
Stop.
I like it. I would say the same. That is perfect.
It is the question you need to ask in certain situations.
It's concise. Everyone understands.
Yeah, totally. And Chad insists they're just friends. But even that's bad enough for his mother-in-law, Jennifer. She doesn't want Kat anywhere near Chad or his kids.
Yeah.
Understandably.
She's proven herself an excellent liar.
Literally.
It's a skill that you don't always want people to have. But
there you go.
It's been revealed.
Now, back in the park, Kat is incredulous that, Shane can't threaten her into coming back to the agency. But he doesn't, insists he doesn't want to threaten her. He just wants her to understand the stakes of the case. So then Kat takes us on this journey of what working for the ISA cost her. She thought she was safe as an analyst tracking Clyde Weston's drug ring. So Clyde is the big bad villain who went on later to kidnap her mother and hold her for ransom and force her to pretend to be Abigail. So this is actually sort of reverse engineering exposition for how Kat got wrapped up with Clyde Weston, which is an interesting way of doing this, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Kat's just like, but I got burned. My father died. My mother was kidnapped and brainwashed. And I literally had to have my face and body reconstructed. So there are a lot of things in this that I needed to chew on for a second. When Kat was like, I got burned, I thought she meant like metaphorically, I was burned by this job. And but I literally think she was set on fire.
Okay. Right. And then you need the reconstruction.
And then she needed reconstructive surgery.
Yeah, that's up. And now everyone in town like hates her. And,
here we go. But that's the thing that's also crazy. I was like, wait, but the reconstructive surgery was fake. But I guess she claimed to have had reconstructive surgery when she was pretending to be Abigail. But she did actually have reconstructive surgery because she was in this fire.
Yeah, it was just a different kind of reconstruction. It's like
a different aim, a different goal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Man.
And then Shane like makes a comment where he's like, I remember how intense the surgery was. The ISA footed the bill. I'm just like, read the room, dude. Like, you don't have to brag about paying for it.
Yeah. You think you had a tough time getting your face reconstructed. I had to write a check.
You do know how complicated international insurance coverage is?
So many forms.
Yeah. So she reaffirms that her service to the agency has ended. She has to take care of her siblings. She can't afford to end up like John Black, and tears immediately well in Shane's eyes because John Black was a beloved character who recently passed away after coming off of a mission with the ISA, which was in Emily's episode. John was missing in Estonia.
Yes. Yes.
And he came back from his mission and died shortly after. So Kat strikes a nerve.
Yes.
Meanwhile, with the DiMeras, Tony's like spiraling. He's like, yes, EJ, what you did to Samantha was disgraceful. And Kate and Roman had no right to tell Johnny about it. Like he can't decide who he's more mad at. And I'm like, I think we could be more mad at EJ. I think we can commit to that.
Let's do that.
And he's like, okay, so now it makes sense. Johnny had motive and he was going around town proclaiming he wanted EJ dead. Plus, there's a video of him aiming a gun at EJ. No one would find Johnny innocent. But EJ is determined to protect his son at all costs, and Tony agrees to protect Johnny too, and they both solemnly nod.
Yeah.
And I feel like the unspoken agreement is like, we're going to handle this memory card, but I don't like the implications of how they're going to handle it in that little plastic baggie. I don't want to think about it.
Yes.
Now we go back to Shane and Kat. Shane tells Kat that was a low blow. You know, John Black was way more than an asset. He was a real friend and he died a hero. And then Kat kind of like indignantly implies, she's like, well, maybe John would have chosen a better path if he'd known his life could have been at risk. And I'm like, okay, no, you're a spy for an international spy agency. I think kind of iconically, going into it that your life is at risk.
Yeah. If you don't sign a waiver, you probably know it's just part of the job.
Just from the movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything.
Yeah.
The line where she's like, you don't need me. You've got thousands of analysts. I wrote that down, put some exclamation points because she really hit that.
Yes.
Of like, you have and I'm like, that's
thousands
a lot of
analysts.
And that's just the analysts, right? She was like, I was just an analyst. So that's everyone on top of that, all the field agents, all the like management, all the people filling out the healthcare forms. Like that's a big place.
That does make you question like how covertly the ISA couldn't be functioning around the world. Like they're just like the largest employer in every country they have a presence
like
in.
1 out of 10 people, if you ask them what they do, they're like, I can't tell you.
I'm sorry. I'm an analyst for someone.
I'm an analyst. I have money from it. I don't know.
Yeah, from analyzing.
Yeah. Or do they have a secret handshake? They can talk to each
something
other?
like that. They just have like...
They sneak up on each other at night, I guess.
Exactly.
That's how they know.
That's how they keep each other fresh.
That's right.
Kat sort of like backtracks. She really like goes hard on this like John Black died at your hand. And then she's like, maybe he shouldn't have been a spy. And then she's like, I don't know. He seemed great. I didn't know him. And it's just like, okay, let's just cool it. Shane decides to pointedly add that, the world is a darker place without John Black. And so the rest of them need to step up to the plate.
That was it. Yeah.
Guilt trip. So then Kat relents and asks Shane why he wants her back at the agency. And Shane tells her, well, she's one of the agency's best analysts, but also Kat has a personal connection to the case. cliffhanger for this scene that, spoiler alert, is not going to pay off later. Again at the bistro, Gabi's really playing, she's really like playing both sides of the argument. Like now Gabi's really arguing that it makes sense for Jennifer and Jack to be super suspicious of Kat. You know, Chad and Kat may have gotten over their history, but Chad's not the only heart Kat played with. And Chad reminds Gabi that Kat didn't want to do the whole stolen identity thing. Her mother's life was at risk. Thank you. And Gabi's like, I get it. But also to Jennifer, Kat Green will always be the person who, you know, and then Chad finishes her sentence and goes, impersonated her dead daughter. And I love when we have to say it explicitly.
Yeah. No, it's not, and it's not a good line on the resume. You don't need that. You don't want to, you don't want to put that on there, but
tough. We go back to game night now. I'm so sorry, but this is the end of the game. Thomas takes a bow after having won. He wants a round 2, but Jennifer thinks JJ probably has better plans than hanging out with his parents and his nephew. Thomas absolutely drags him and is like, not really. Gabi dumped him. I love the way he says it. And Jennifer immediately freaks out, having heard that her son was dating Gabi Hernandez after all the horrible things she did to Julie, plus all his cousins she's been involved with.
3 cousins. This guy and 3 of his cousins. How big is this town? Find some new people.
No, literally, I say this all the time. One of my favorite things about the show is that, like, when 2 characters are like about to maybe flirt for the first time, they always kind of do a family tree to like establish verbally that they are not related.
Oh, I love it. That is strategic. That is wise.
So yeah, Jack hilariously like ushers the child out of the room while Jennifer's like screeching about cousin fucking.
It's out of scene, but I feel like Thomas is caught on something. He tugs him and it looks uncomfortable. I didn't go back to confirm, but man, there was something like poor Thomas, just a rag doll.
I wrote that Jack clumsily removes Thomas from the room. There was definitely something clunky happening, weird. And I hope the boy was okay.
It was out of frame, I know. Yeah.
So, JJ's like explaining to his mom he'd never meant for her to know about him dating Gabi. And Jennifer's like, because you know I'm right. And I just cannot stand this woman who's so obsessed with what everyone's doing and how everyone's doing it. I think, no disrespect, but Jennifer needs to mind her business. And I think, frankly, her husband agrees with me a little bit, but he's going to say it in a nicer way. You know, Jack tries to calm Jennifer down and offers that, you know, we can't help who our heart wants to be with. Life lesson.
Really goes to bat for him.
He does. And JJ insists it doesn't matter. Like Thomas said, he and Gabi broke up. And, you know, it's kind of hard to come back from accusing someone of attempted murder. And if I've seen it once, I've seen it 100 times. Relationships, it's hard to survive accusing someone of attempted murder. So basically, JJ is a detective and thought Gabi was the one who shot EJ.
Okay.
But she has since been cleared of all wrongdoing.
Was he responsible for investigating it?
He was.
Was that part of his? Okay. So it's like he's supposed to be suspicious and like figuring out if people have murdered.
Exactly. And she was very, and we'll get to it a little bit later too. Yeah. She was very like, you should have just trusted me. And he was like, I can't just trust you. I know.
Yeah. Okay. Emily's like, I didn't kill that person. I'll be like, I don't know. Let me see.
Yeah. Let me check.
I just want to check.
Now back at the bistro, who should walk in behind Chad and Gabi's table but the other DiMera brothers of this episode, Tony and EJ, have now arrived for dinner. Chad is like so excited to see Tony. He like jumps up and throws his arms around him. He's so sweet. Excited. Yeah. EJ is like being snarky about Chad's interesting choice in dinner companion.
So snarky.
So snarky because EJ and Gabi hate each other. And Gabi, we will again get into it in an upcoming scene, but Gabi was once married to another DiMera brother, Stefan.
Okay.
So they are all family in some capacity.
Yeah, they've been there at Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah, exactly. but she's friendly with Tony. And then Tony asks if Chad and Gabi would mind if he and EJ joined their dinner.
Mind if we join you, he says.
Crazy.
And again, remember the table. It is
my God.
Tiny round table full of 2 untouched plates.
Correct.
Napkins and glasses aligned with each other.
Apple cider glasses.
Apple cider. Everyone's loving the apple cider. I can't believe that question.
But I love that Gabi and Chad like look at each other suspiciously as soon as he asks. And I'm like, it makes it look like you're having an affair, which you're not. Like, I don't know why you shared this suspicious look.
Yeah.
Back at the park, Kat wants Shane to explain this personal connection she has to the case. But apparently it's just that she worked a similar case back in the day. And I'm like, I wouldn't call that a personal connection, Shane Donovan. Then Shane adds that, Kat's current job as Marlena's assistant at the hospital makes her perfectly positioned for the case. He explains that the ISA has been tracking the DiMera Criminal Enterprises since, well, forever, which I thought was an extremely unprofessional way for him to talk about a long ongoing investigation at his agency. Just, well, forever. Now that Titan has taken over DiMera is weak, so this is the time to strike. And EJ recently purchased the hospital in Salem, and based on the ISA's intel, sorry, I just realized how seriously I was talking about this for a second, and it made me laugh. So
it's a big up. It's a big up.
Based on the ISA's intel, EJ couldn't have come up with the money alone. There had to have been a cash infusion from some mystery investor.
Yeah.
And so Shane and the ISA need Kat to find out who that investor is.
Yeah.
And Kat takes what I am starting to deem the Emmy Award nominated inhale, which is like at the end of a scene, one of the actors just fully to respond. I'm like, this is incredible. And back at the bistro, Gabi immediately is like, oh, no need for dinner. I was just leaving, even though they haven't gotten their entrees yet. And she's like, I lost my appetite.
Yeah.
I just love it when they like stumble over their lines, but it's not bad enough for them to go back and reshoot it. Like Tony's like, oh, the air turned positively frigid. Like he doesn't say the in positively. And I think it's so funny. And he asks Gabi, should I know why it's awkward? And she's just like, nope. And then she goes to Chad and she says she gave the maitre d' her card. Dinner's on her, which I found to be extremely classy.
That's classy. Yeah.
They're good taste.
Even before all this happened, it was like, I called you to dinner, talk your birthright. It's on me.
It's on
advance,
me.
Whatever
and now,
happens.
But now I'm also like, is she also going to pay for like the brothers DiMera to have their dinner? I don't know. I mean, she can swing it, but
nobody can eat. They can just drink.
There you go. Which that's what they're going to do. Before Gabi can leave, Tony asks if she's heard from her. He's like, have you heard from your ex-husband lately? Like he
draws it out.
Yeah.
It's like, I have the floor. I'm gonna stay here.
Yes. And Gabi stops in her tracks and the music gets very dramatic to indicate something of concern is happening. Back in the park with Kat, Kat's not surprised that EJ's up to something shady. No one buys a failing hospital out of altruism. I think another important life lesson to take away from this, that could be cross-stitched on a pillow. No one buys a failing hospital out of altruism.
That's a beautiful pillow.
But Shane also tells Kat about how EJ's trying to claim a patent on a miracle sepsis drug, Versavix, that was developed at the hospital. Sepsis became like a massively important topic of conversation on Days of Our Lives in 2025.
Zoom in on sepsis.
Literally, I'm just like, did someone in Big Pharma like sponsor this season?
Right.
Like it became this thing where it was like one of the characters got sepsis and we needed to find a cure.
Okay.
So there's this miracle sepsis drug that like EJ is going to patent from the hospital's research, and that's going to be a legit payoff, but that's years away. So whatever EJ's planning, they want to get ahead of it. And Kat's still resisting, but Shane adds that, He's like, I know the hospital is important to you because your sister received life-saving surgery as an infant.
Yeah.
He doesn't specify that that surgery happened at Salem University Hospital, but they did say that late in later episodes I watched. So I was like, oh, I think that was just a fumble on
It's
this
like
line.
the implication somehow is
Yeah,
that it was, but it's like that's what hospitals are there for. It's like you have a special I mean, I guess sure you have a special connection, but it's like
but to be like,
that's why they're there.
yeah, to be like, you have to help save this hospital. Your sister had surgery once.
Have another hospital. If that one fails, have another hospital. Put the doctors in the new hospital. It doesn't have to be this hospital.
But apparently it has to be, because this is the sticking point that finally gets Kat to relent. Right. She agrees she'll keep her ears open and report back to Shane if she hears anything useful that might be useful to his investigation. But she firmly adds that once this is done, she wants Shane and the agency to leave her alone for good. And then I just can't, we're going to get to it in a little bit. I'm not going to get hung up on it now. We'll circle back. We're in the home stretch. Now, Gabi tells Tony she hasn't heard from Stefan since he left Salem. So basically the story with Stefan was like, he left this cryptic letter being like, Gabi, I want a divorce. I'm moving to Alemania, which is this fictional country where all of these people live.
Okay,
nice. Yeah. But it turns out Stefan was fully like drugged and kidnapped and whisked away to Alemania by his like villainous mother. Mm-hmm. So Stefan is not well, or at least like being held hostage. But everybody thinks he just left Salem. So Tony is like, yeah, it's weird. When my wife Anna and I were visiting Alemania on our travels, we reached out to Stefan, but we never heard back from him. And Chad doesn't think they need to worry. You know, Stefan kind of always wanted out of the family. And then EJ's like, oh yeah, I got a card from Stefan, but then I threw it out before I read it because I saw it wasn't from the person I wanted it to be from. And I'm like, that's not how mail works. Who's ever done that?
Oh man.
Yeah. And then Gabi sort of like digs at EJ like, oh yeah, it wasn't from your son because your son will never love you and he's never going to forgive you for what you did to him. Perfect energy to leave on. Gabi finally leaves. Chad like smacks EJ while Tony just muses aloud that, you know, Stefan's probably fine and there's no reason to think he's in trouble. And I'm like, clearly, Stefan is in trouble, and it's going to come up soon. Now, back at the house, at the game night house, Jennifer hangs up her phone, and she's like, okay, Charlotte and Julie are on their way back. And Thomas is immediately like, you can't leave yet. And I'm like, the kid has issues. Like, they clearly were calling to find out when Julie and Charlotte were going to be back so they could stay to say goodbye. Like he has abandonment issues. Once again, we need this child in therapy immediately.
Yes.
Jack and Jennifer promise Thomas they'll be back before he knows it. This poor sweet kid, he's talking about how he'll miss them so much and they pull him into a hug. And I just love
hug.
JJ kind of like half-heartedly perches on top of the group hug. But yeah, it's a sweet moment.
It's sweet.
To round out Monopoly night.
Yes.
Now in the town square, wait, is that immediately after? Okay, so there must have been a commercial break because then in the next scene, we're in the town square. Gabi has left the bistro and she runs into JJ, who just came from the half-hearted group hug.
With the badge on his belt. Now I know. He's got the badge out.
Also, it's just like Friday night. And he's badged and gunned up in the town square. Like, where are you going?
Yeah, without a uniform, but he's got the badge, he's got the gun.
Yeah, absolutely. So he runs into Gabi. You know, he apologizes again for accusing her of shooting EJ. And he knows now that she didn't have anything to do with it. And she asks what changed his mind. And he explains that, you know, her brother Rafe told the police about this camera that was planted in the house. And this is also faulty logic. It's basically like, we don't have the footage from the camera, but we know that there was a camera and your brother is the one who told us about the camera. And if there was footage of you, we don't think your brother would have told us about it. So we think you're innocent. Like it's also actually not new evidence that has cleared her. It's just a different kind of vibes.
It's just the series of implications.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's good enough for him. So now I'm kind of maybe he should have trusted her. If this is good enough for him now.
That's actually a fair point. But I also die because she's still pissed. She's like, you should have believed me before you had this new evidence. And I'm like, it's not even new evidence.
No.
She's disgusted that he didn't have faith in her, and she dramatically leaves. Now in the park, this is when Shane informs Kat that she'll be working on an interagency task force. He'll introduce her to her FBI contact after he's taking some time off for his son's wedding. I said PTO king. We love it. Take your personal time.
Yeah. Yes. Block it off.
Yes.
No work.
Shane thanks Kat for her cooperation, and she's like, you didn't really give me a choice. And I'm like, again, I do not get it. I do not get how she was strong-armed into working this job. I don't understand. She basically agreed to like keep an ear to the ground and like pass along information. And now it's been escalated to like, you have a contact in the FBI, you're on a task force. Like, this becomes like her entire job now. And I'm just like, what started as a very casual, like, I'll keep an ear out is now, it has really escalated.
Escalated super fast.
I don't understand.
Also, it's like, you left me no choice because you gave me compelling reasons and I agreed. It's like, I don't know. Maybe that is choice. Maybe that's what we call choice.
You chose.
That's what the word means.
Yes, 100. That's the thing. It would have been different if he was like, I'm going to kidnap your sister. If you don't do it.
Yeah. We know you work for threats to your family, so that's what we could do here.
Oh, well, Shane wishes her the best and he leaves, and that's the end of that. Now, back at the bistro, the DiMera brothers have taken over this tiny table. We're now sitting 3 in a row, shoulder to shoulder. They toast limoncello, and it just really did make my stomach turn. And I wanted to be like, we get it, you're Italian. So Tony casually takes a sip and he goes, and while we're on the topic of pater familia, Nathan, how many times have you been on the topic of pater familia?
I cannot say that I have.
Okay, yeah, fair. Maybe not a super relatable topic of conversation. Tony wants to discuss how the DiMera siblings have let the company suffer by being at each other's throats. So Tony wants to reunite and win back the company from Titan. But EJ immediately is like, nope, I'm out. He goes, throughout my adult life, father was grooming me to take over the company, and it's brought me nothing but misery. And I'm just
He's learned.
He has learned. I also just love, it was like the journey I went on mentally in that sentence where it was like, my father was grooming me. And I was like, and then it's like, to take over the company. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right. That word's got new meanings.
It's loaded. So, now EJ has acquired the hospital. He wants to put his focus there, and he wants to focus on repairing his relationship with his son. Chad says he's also out. He's content running the Spectator.
These people have grown.
Yeah. We've moved on from DiMera Enterprises, sadly. And Chad's like, ooh, look at the time. Got to get home to the kids. He kisses Tony on the head. He gives EJ a firm handshake. I think 2 kind of weird ways to say bye to your brother, but what do I know? So Chad leaves. Tony turns to EJ and suggests they grab a coffee to hash this out. But I'm like, so we came for dinner. We got limoncello. We're going straight to coffee. No food.
Yeah.
I can't.
These people have been here for a long time. They must be getting hungry.
Yeah. The server is like, I thought I was going to make bank on this dinner, and it turns out I'm just doing drinks.
No, I think the servers are totally stiffing them because they've been there and never left a tip. Things just happen or something.
Years.
And so they just like, when they walk by them, it's so clearly like, I'm not
going
to not even going to look at the table. I'm not going to see where they're at. I'm not going to ask how things are.
Ignore them. But I'm very attentive to my other tables.
Everyone else, just to show them that I could.
Yeah. Tony wants to get coffee, but EJ smirks at a text from Belle that we don't even get to see. So I shudder to think at how graphic it was if we don't even get the little bubble on screen.
Yeah.
And EJ leaves because something important has just come up. And Tony's like, more important than reclaiming father's legacy. And EJ goes, without question. And
he doesn't want to do it.
It's so like 90s movie, like, my girl's more important than business. And then he like runs out.
Yeah.
I love it. Now it's time for Chad to run into Kat in the town square. Again, she has like gone from the town square to the park and then looped back to the town square. Still hasn't gotten the burgers for her sister.
Dinner, no.
I'm livid. Chad offers Kat congratulations to Kat's brother. He graduated high school that day. And he's like, are we still on for dinner? And who should be lurking behind a tree eavesdropping on them but JJ? And again, I'm like, so he's just lurking in the town square tonight?
Such a bare tree. It's so
yes,
few leaves. It's like
it's fully like a community theater play of someone like peeking their head out from behind a flat tree.
So funny.
I'm obsessed. Back at the bistro for the final scene, all alone at his table, Tony reads a headline. Titan DiMera in a free fall. And he gets a call from his wife, Anna. And he tells her he broached the subject with his brothers, but neither wants to make a move. So if the family business is to be saved, he's going to have to be the one to do it.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
end of episode.
He can do it.
Tony is going to, this is a one-man job.
That's what he wants.
I just think it's so funny that Tony's argument is like, we have to do this for the family. Come on. It like seems like he has like the moral high ground, but I think, I mean, I'm just guessing at this point because it hasn't been resolved from the episodes I've watched. He's, I think, the one doing all the nefarious, evil, like illegal criminal enterprise stuff. I think I could be wrong.
He needs the front. So it's really important to him.
I think so. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I love that he's just like, I'm the sincere one.
Yeah.
I just want to do our family's legacy of crime.
That's great. Everybody knows.
Come on.
It's classy crime.
Yes, come on. What's the deal? Oh my God, Nathan, what an episode. I mean, I could not have predicted the beautiful Monopoly takedown you presented to the game choreography that they brought. That that stuck with me and will stick with me forever.
It escalated. It was its own plot within a plot. This like first little hint, maybe they're just playing by their own rules, and then it just went to the point of, I think they're messing with us.
I'm obsessed.
I think they're messing with us.
I'm obsessed. I mean, yeah, wow, we had a lot. We had Monopoly craziness. We had spy reveals. We had corporate shenanigans. I mean, there's everything. This episode had everything.
It did.
Oh my God, Nathan, thank you so much for doing this. This was so fun.
It was an honor.
Folks, if you're listening, wow, thanks for listening. Nathan, I wouldn't describe you as like an extremely online person, but is there somewhere you would want people to find you or follow you? No is an okay answer.
Find me, follow me. I mean, there's little to follow, there's little to find, I guess, there's no, but if someone wants to mail me a letter and,
hey, if you want to send Nathan a letter about Monopoly, reach out to me.
Find my address through the ISA. Oh no. Yeah.
Through the ISA. I was going to say, we'll set up a PO box or something for you and people can write Monopoly, fan mail to you.
Yes.
This has been great, folks. If you like the podcast, please subscribe to the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, give the podcast a rating and maybe like a nice fun review. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram. There are a bunch of like really like screenshots of iconic moments from this episode that I have that I'll post on the Instagram when this episode comes out. That's at So Are the Days podcast. You can also follow me on TikTok at Days of Our Live. That is a mix of kind of just me doing goofy stuff and also talking about Days of Our Lives on TikTok. So you never know what you're going to get. I mean, any final notes to leave us on, Nathan?
No, this was really, really good. I really wouldn't have found this if not for this episode. So
it's a good time.
And I appreciate you finding a good episode to have me watch with you.
Happy to. That's one thing I can guarantee my friends who listen or who agree to do this with me. I'm like, it will be an entertaining way for you to pass some time. Amazing. Well, folks, I'm going to use my new sign off that Emily Kolb inspired me to start using. Folks, those were the days of our lives. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.